In a quaint little town nestled in the valley, with the surrounding hills guarding its serenity, life moved at a leisurely pace. The town's architecture was a reflection of its history, with cobblestone streets and houses built from the warm, golden stones extracted from the nearby quarry. Nature was integrated into the very essence of the town, with flowers blooming on windowsills and vines creeping up the walls, embracing the buildings in a verdant hug. At the heart of this idyllic setting, in a house that was neither too grand nor too humble, lived an elderly man named Edgar. His age was a mystery to most, as he seemed to have been an old man for as long as anyone in the town could remember. Edgar's once black hair had long ago turned silver, and deep lines etched his face, bearing witness to a lifetime of experiences. Despite his age, Edgar's eyes retained a youthful sparkle, reflecting the curiosity and wisdom that had earned him the respect of the townsfolk. Edgar's house was a reflection of his life, filled with books, artifacts, and memorabilia from his younger days. The walls were adorned with photographs of distant lands and people, a testament to his adventurous spirit in his youth. Though he had ceased traveling years ago, he still found solace and pleasure in observing the world from his favorite spot, a cozy armchair by the window, which provided a panoramic view of the town's bustling square. From this vantage point, Edgar could watch the townspeople go about their daily routines, the children playing and the adults engaging in animated conversations. As the seasons changed, he observed the transformations in the landscape, the colors shifting from the verdant greens of spring to the fiery hues of autumn. It was in these moments of quiet observation that Edgar found contentment and purpose, drawing upon his life experiences to contemplate the ebb and flow of human nature. Over the years, Edgar's keen insights and empathetic nature had made him a trusted confidant for many in the town. They would visit his home, seeking counsel on matters of the heart, family dilemmas, or simply to share their joys and sorrows. Edgar welcomed them all, listening patiently as they poured out their thoughts and feelings, offering his wisdom with a gentle smile and a kind word. In the evenings, after the last visitor had departed, Edgar would retire to his armchair, a steaming cup of tea warming his hands as he gazed out the window. The fading light cast a soft glow on the town, bathing it in a golden hue as the sun dipped below the horizon. As the days went by, Edgar began to sense that his time in this world was drawing to a close. His body had grown more frail, and the energy that once coursed through him was now reduced to a mere trickle. Despite this, Edgar remained steadfast in his commitment to the townspeople, continuing to offer his counsel and wisdom, even as his own journey neared its end. It was during this time that a young woman named Lucy came to visit Edgar, her eyes filled with a mixture of hope and trepidation. She was a kind-hearted soul, known for her gentle demeanor and her ability to bring a smile to even the most somber of faces. Lucy had come to seek Edgar's advice regarding a difficult decision she faced, whether to leave the town she loved in pursuit of her dreams or to stay and continue to nurture the bonds she had formed with the people she held dear. As Lucy shared her dilemma, Edgar listened with his usual attentiveness, his eyes reflecting the compassion he felt for the young woman's plight. He understood the weight of her decision and the impact it would have on her life. After some moments of contemplation, Edgar began to speak, his voice carrying the warmth of his empathy and the wisdom of his years. "My dear Lucy," he began, "I have spent my life observing the world and the people who inhabit it. And in my time, I have come to understand that life is a series of choices, each one shaping our path and our destiny. It is natural to feel torn between the familiar and the unknown, the comforts of home and the call of adventure. But in the end, it is the choices we make that define who we are and the life we lead." As Edgar spoke, he could see the emotions playing across Lucy's face, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears as she absorbed his words. He continued, "It is important to remember that we have but one life, and it is up to us to make the most of the time we are given. Do not be afraid to follow your heart, to chase your dreams, even if it means leaving behind the comfort of the familiar." Lucy listened intently, her heart swelling with gratitude for the wisdom that Edgar shared. As their conversation drew to a close, she thanked him for his guidance, embracing him tightly before departing with a newfound sense of clarity and determination. As the days turned into weeks, the town began to notice a change in Edgar. His energy waned, and he spent more and more time in his armchair, gazing out the window. The townspeople, concerned for their beloved elder, visited him frequently, seeking not only his counsel but also to offer their support and care. Edgar welcomed their company, sharing stories from his past and imparting his wisdom with a sense of urgency, as if he knew his time was limited. As word of Edgar's failing health spread throughout the town, more and more people came to visit him, each one eager to share their gratitude and to glean whatever wisdom they could from his wealth of experience. The stream of visitors was unending, and though his body grew weaker by the day, Edgar's spirit remained strong, buoyed by the love and appreciation of those around him. One particularly quiet afternoon, as the sun cast its golden light through the window, Edgar was paid a visit by Thomas, the town's blacksmith. Thomas was a burly man with hands that bore the marks of years of hard labor, yet his eyes sparkled with kindness and warmth. He and Edgar had shared many conversations over the years, discussing everything from the intricacies of their craft to the challenges of raising a family in a changing world. As Thomas settled into the chair beside Edgar, he cleared his throat and began to speak. "Edgar, my friend," he said, his voice deep and resonant, "I've come to thank you for all the wisdom you've shared with me over the years. Your guidance has been invaluable, and I wanted you to know that I'm a better man because of it." Edgar, visibly moved by Thomas's words, clasped the blacksmith's hand in his own frail grip, his eyes filled with gratitude and emotion. "Thomas," he replied, his voice shaking slightly, "it has been an honor to know you and to share in your life. We are all here to learn from one another, and I am grateful for the lessons you have taught me in return." As the two friends reminisced about the years gone by, Edgar began to share his insights on the nature of life and the importance of cherishing every moment. "Thomas," he said, "time is the most precious gift we are given, and it is up to each of us to use it wisely. We must not waste our days dwelling on regrets or lamenting what might have been. Instead, we must focus on the present, on the people we love and the opportunities that life presents us." Thomas listened intently, his eyes glistening with unshed tears as he absorbed Edgar's words. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting the room in a soft, golden glow, the two men continued to share stories and laughter, their bond strengthened by the knowledge that their time together was drawing to a close. In the weeks that followed, Edgar's health continued to decline, his once strong frame now a mere shadow of its former self. Yet his spirit remained indomitable, and he continued to share his wisdom and insights with the townspeople, his words resonating with a sense of urgency and profound understanding. And as the end drew near, Edgar found solace in the knowledge that he had made a difference in the lives of those around him, his legacy living on through the lessons he had imparted and the love he had shared. As Edgar's time grew shorter, his family and friends rallied around him, providing comfort and support in his final days. Among these individuals was his granddaughter, Emily, a spirited and compassionate young woman who had always shared a special bond with her grandfather. She would sit by his bedside, listening to his stories and wisdom, soaking up every word like a sponge. One day, Emily asked Edgar a question that had been weighing on her mind. "Grandfather," she began, her voice soft and hesitant, "how do you find the strength to remain so positive and wise, even as your body fails you?" Edgar looked at her, his eyes filled with love and understanding, and replied, "My dear child, life is full of challenges and hardships, but it is also filled with beauty and joy. The key is to focus on the good and to learn from the bad. It is through our struggles that we gain strength, and it is in overcoming those challenges that we find wisdom." Emily pondered her grandfather's words, the truth of his message settling deep within her heart. As the days passed, she continued to spend time with him, their conversations growing more and more poignant as Edgar's strength waned. One evening, as the sun set in a brilliant display of colors, Edgar felt a change within himself. He knew his time was near, and he felt compelled to share one final piece of wisdom with Emily. "My dear," he said, his voice barely more than a whisper, "there is one more thing I must tell you." Emily leaned in close, her heart heavy with the knowledge that this could be the last time she heard her grandfather's voice. "What is it, grandfather?" she asked, her voice quivering with emotion. Edgar looked deep into her eyes, his own filled with a serene acceptance of his fate. "The greatest gift we can give to the world," he began, "is to be true to ourselves and to follow our own path. Do not be swayed by the expectations of others, but instead, seek your own truth and embrace your own unique gifts." Emily nodded, tears streaming down her cheeks as she committed her grandfather's words to memory. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the room in a soft, melancholy glow, the two of them sat together, their hearts joined in love and understanding. Edgar's passing, when it came, was quiet and peaceful, surrounded by his loved ones. In the days that followed, the townspeople mourned the loss of their wise mentor, but they also celebrated his life, sharing their favorite memories and the lessons they had learned from him. It was a fitting tribute to a man who had touched so many lives, leaving behind a legacy of wisdom, love, and understanding. As autumn arrived and the leaves began to fall, the town slowly returned to its daily routines. The memory of Edgar, however, remained a comforting presence, his wisdom living on in the hearts and minds of those he had counseled. Emily, now a young woman filled with a newfound sense of purpose, decided to honor her grandfather's legacy by offering her own insights and guidance to those in need. With each person she counseled, Emily would share a piece of Edgar's wisdom, weaving it seamlessly into her own advice. She found that, in helping others, she was also learning more about herself and her own strengths. Emily had discovered her calling as a confidant, just as her grandfather had been before her. Years later, as Emily grew older, she continued to serve as a guiding light for the townspeople, sharing her wisdom and love with all who sought her counsel. The memory of her grandfather remained a beacon of strength and inspiration, his life a testament to the power of kindness, understanding, and the human spirit. As the sun set on another day, Emily gazed out her window, observing the world as Edgar once did. A gentle breeze rustled the leaves outside, and she felt a warm sense of connection to the past, present, and future, knowing that the impact of one person's wisdom and love could continue to ripple outward, touching countless lives for generations to come. And in that quiet, reflective moment, Emily knew she had fulfilled her grandfather's wish, for her to find her own truth and share her unique gifts with the world.